Yes, people, what's happening, man? This is shakanpitters, and right now we're weighing in. Get me? Weighing in bricks, half a bricks, ounces, 0.4s, 0.8s, you name it. We're distributing them on every corner.
And we are talking boxing gloves, aren't we, Jack? We're talking boxing gloves, yeah, nothing else.
We're talking boxing gloves, 16 ounces, 8 ounces, 20 ounces, ballers.
Yes, weighing in with Big Shaq, the WBC International Light Heavyweight Champion. Big Shaq returns to the ring against Dan Azeez, September 3rd in Liverpool, the British title on the line. You're getting a bit greedy, man. You've got a belt already. Do you want another one?
But you know, to be honest, these are domestic belts, innit? But and obviously it's a good fight, but the fans and a lot of people are calling for whatever. But these are all a part of the journey for me. The main goal and aim is obviously to keep, you know, elevating and get the bigger belts and things like that. But yeah, man, we start back again. Grab this old belt which I had.
As soon as the fight was announced, what was the feeling knowing you'll be back in the ring, and that too in a big fight?
Yeah, obviously I want to be in good fights. Dan's a good fighter, safe bro. And I just wanted to, like I said, it's been a while since I was back in the ring. Obviously, my last fight in November, but it's good to get back on a good stage, back in the ring. Fighting in Liverpool, big boxing city. Never fought there before, so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to go in there and get the win. And obviously last time, fighting for this title and things when I won it, and that there was no crowd and things like that. So now to win it in front of my fans and everything, it's going to be good.
Shaq, whilst you was at the ring, what was the most frustrating part of not boxing over such a long period of time?
Well, boxing's my job, full-time athlete, obviously. So, you know, I wasn't frustrated in the fact of being in the gym and things like that. Obviously, as a fighter, you want fights, you want to be in fights, you want to, you know, have fight dates and something to work towards, because there's a difference between ticking over and just being in the gym and doing things and working on things. And don't get me wrong, in that time obviously it allowed me to work on things in my game and, you know, actually evaluate a lot of things, but just not having a fight day. But now I got a fight day, it's obviously you've got that reason to get up and put the miles in and do more and do, you know what I mean, put the 110% in. So yeah, it's good to have a date.
Listen, what's your current status? Are you a free agent or are you still signed to Hennessy Sports? Because this fight is obviously through Boxer on Sky Sports. Is this a one deal fight, a multi-fight deal, or have you actually signed with Boxer?
Yeah, well, technically, obviously, I'm still with Hennessy and things, and I've still got a lot of love and respect for Mick Hennessy. He's done a lot for my career. In regards to that, I don't really wish to say much on it because there's obviously... There's things going on behind the scenes. But I don't wish to say much on it, but regardless of anything, Mick Hennessy's done a tremendous job for me.
That's real, man, that's real. I appreciate you just giving a little insight into that. Has it been difficult to get into camp life and fight mode, considering it's been so long since you had your fight? It's been 10 months.
No, not really, because like I've been doing this, you know, it's I've been boxing now, including the amateur scene, for 10 years now. So, you know, everyone, I think fighters coming up and even fighters who already established themselves, they go through these dips, you know what I mean, where, you know, you can't all be smooth sailing upwards, and it, like, you're going to have a dip where the boxing market's going to fall a bit and you're going to be in a situation where you probably just got to, you know, be in the gym, no fight date, nothing announced, and it's frustrating. But at the same time, I'm a strong believer what you can't control, then, you know, look at the positives and what you can do when you can't control. I couldn't control nothing about a fight date, but it allowed me to, you know, do more things in, like, even just like being at the shows, at the boxing shows. I had more availability to do that, and more availability to then, you know, be there for certain family and things like that who I probably wouldn't have had the time to been there for as much, and also work on my game, which is priceless and more important. I feel like you always learn in this sport, so you've got to, you know, use any kind of given time to develop your own skills and, you know, work on any aspects of your game.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that. Listen, as part of your camp, I understand you've been sparring LyndonArthur.
Yeah.
I interviewed him last week. In the interview, he said he'd like to fight the winner of your fight. coming up. Do you not consider sparring him to be dangerous, considering he could be someone you fight next or later down the line?
No, not at all. And you know, this is it. Like, you know, again, Lynn's a good fighter. We've got sparring, and I've sparred many other light heavyweights and many other people in general. And Lyndon's not wrong for wanting to target the winner. I believe he had won the British or something like that. So why not? Why wouldn't he want it? And again, that's another good fight, which I'm sure the British public will be interested in either way, you know what I mean? I don't think it's dangerous at all. Like, sparring for me, I don't take much from it. Obviously, I go in there, I do the rounds, I work on things, aspects of my game. I'm sure he does the same, you know what I mean? And but no, I don't consider it any different. It's all different with 10-ounce gloves. It's all different on fight night. And like I said, there's no head guards, no 16-ounce gloves and things like that. So it's just about working, getting the rounds in for me. But yeah, he's a good fighter, Lyndon. And like I said, you know, I've got a lot of time and respect for him. And it is what it is, isn't it? Until we all meet, or if we was to have a fight, then obviously all that goes out the window. But yeah, he's not wrong for wanting to target that. Every one of us in this game and this sport, we want to better ourselves. And I'm sure, you know, that's something he'd want on his collection, and it. They're British, so a lot of targets on your head when you got the British title and when you're in a certain position. So it's not impersonal. We get the work in, and that's that.
So Ben Whittaker, as soon as he signed his deal, he came out all guns blazing, saying he wants to fight Dan Azeez within his first 5 fights. Is Dan Azeez overlooked by other fighters in this division?
I don't know. I can't talk on other fighters. For me, I don't overlook any fighter.
What's your opinion on Dan Azeez?
Good fighter. He's a good fighter. You know, he's done things like pretty much like myself. You know, we've come from the smaller old shows, and he's obviously won all the, like, a lot of the major domestic titles like myself as well. And you know, he's got himself into a position. It's something where nothing went handed to us, you know what I mean? We didn't, I'm sure we both never had like a mad, major, stellar amateur career representing the GB or anything like that. We've done things the hard way ourselves, so I commend that, I respect that about him as a good fighter. But you know, yeah, that's about it really. I don't take anything much from him apart from that, but I just know all I can do is focus on my game, focus on what I'm going to do.
Just on Dan, he's a come forward fighter. How would you describe your style?
Any of those. I could come forward, I could fight on the back foot, I could fight how I want. There's a lot, like I said, man, there's a lot of aspects of my game I've used to, you know, develop and work on during sparring, on the bags or whatever it is. And you know, I can do just as much as that, you know what I mean? I really can.
Without giving the game plan away, how do you see yourself being victorious on September the 3rd?
Just doing what I do best, man. You know what I mean? Landing the better shots on him and sticking it on him. There's nothing much really he's going to try and stick it on me. I'm going to stick it on him. And it's all about who gets their shots off and whatever and whatnot. But I know what I got to do. And I'm sure at the end of it, I'll be victorious.
Would you say this is your biggest fight to date?
Every fight for me is the biggest fight because, like, for me, I don't generally look at the opponent like that. I just look at what I've got to do during camp. I know what I've got to do during camp, but every fight is a career-defining fight. So that's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
So every fight is important to me. Especially now, it's not like I'm 21, you know what I mean? I'm getting on a bit, but at the same time, I did start boxing late, so I've got plenty of years left. But yeah, it's always a defining fight for myself, my family, you know, to maintain and keep pushing on a high level. Like, I want to keep evaluating, I want to keep elevating, I want to, you know, break bigger and, you know, different on the international scene and even towards the world scene. So these are the fights and challenges you have to take. And Dan's just another fighter in the way for me, to be honest.
Let's talk about the world level, especially in the light heavyweight division. It's absolutely booming. Callum Smith has now entered the scene. He fights in a WBC eliminator on Saturday. How highly do you rate Callum Smith?
Yeah, I rate him. I rate him and his brothers, all of them. Like, it's sick. They've all come from a good boxing family where they all are talented, you know what I mean? They've all, I think, all won British titles and things like that, and all pushed on to challenge for, you know, world titles or whatever it may be. So yeah, man, they're sick fighting brothers, you know what I mean? I wonder how it would have been in their household, man, when one of them wanted them to do a house chore or something, you know what I mean? They were kicking off. But now I rate them. I rate Callum Smith as well. Good fighter, really good fighter. Obviously had some telling good victories as well. And yeah, man, I rate him.
He said he wants beterbiev next, but it seems AnthonyyarDe will be the one getting his shot first.
Yeah.
How do you see Yarde beterbiev go?
good fight. Obviously, both punchers. Obviously, beterbiev's got obviously the more telling victories on the record. But again, styles make fights. I think Yarde's got the style which can trouble him. You know, obviously Callum Johnson put him down. There's another guy who can punch or whatever. And Yarde can hit. So I think, you know, if Yarde can establish his power and, you know, just go for it basically, not show him too much respect himself either, then there's a possibility anything could happen. But beterbiev is a gifted fighter, and you know his results and record don't lie. Don't be wrong, it's a big ass, but this is what a lot of us fighters got to do if we want to consider ourselves great. If we want to be good fighters, you've got to put yourself in there. You got to test yourself. You're going to be in fights where it may be like people question if you're going to win or if you're not going to win, and he's going again to try and, you know, fulfill his destiny and be great and be a world champion, and I'll commend that. I wish him all the best with it. But yeah, he's got a second bite at it, and hopefully he can do it.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Speaking of Yarde, we mentioned Lyndon Arthur earlier on. If the trilogy fight was to happen, who do you think would win it this time?
Again, depends. Obviously, Lyndon's a very good rangy fighter. He's got a good jab. Yarde to come forward, obviously steamroller, and that's what kind of he done last time. I think he just kind of just went through, you know what I mean, Lyndon, and obviously probably never established his jab like the first time. Just probably fought the wrong fight. But again, Lyndon's a good fighter. Yarde's a good fighter. Lyndon's beat him before. Yarde's beat him now. So it's one of those, man. Whoever's going to establish their game plan and get it off. So don't know who would win that. I generally don't. But you know, Lyndon obviously comes with the sharp jab like he did last time. He's got a chance. If Yarde's just going to come and try and steamroll like that, then he's got a chance. So we just don't know.
I hear that, yeah. Listen, we can't talk about boxing without talking about this Saturday, the big one, USYK Joshua 2. For you, will it be repeat or revenge?
I believe Joshua does him. I feel like there's intensity into his work right now, man. I've seen a few clips and that. I see them targeting a lot of the body area. I see him looking very ferocious. I hope he can adapt that into the ring, because that's what he's going to need. He's going to need his ferociousness. He's going to need that aggressiveness. And he's, like I said, man, he's a big lad. He's 6'6", big guy. He's going to come in heavier than USYK. USYK's going to obviously USYK's going to come in probably a stone heavier than he did last time, I predict, because he's going to know and predict that, you know what, Joshua is going to try and just walk through him this time. So I think he's going to try and have that extra pounds to maintain that. And I feel like early on in the fight, we'll see probably Joshua have a lot of success. I think Joshua have a lot of success, and he can possibly get him out of there early in the rounds. I feel like before, like round 7 or 8, I'd say he can get him out of there. But I feel like USYK later on in the fight, is if he hasn't got him out of there, he's going to come on very strong. So it's going to be a close fight, because USYK then is used to being that light and nimble fighter on his toes and things like that, and is the mover. How the weight will affect him, I don't know, but I feel it was a good choice for them to put on the extra weight anyway. But I do hope Joshua does it. I know Joshua probably is going to come in heavier himself, because he's going to know that he needs to go through this guy. He ain't going to try and box him. But I hope he does it, man. And he does it, like I said, by mixing his punches up, head, body, head, and being a more aggressive fighter in there. You know, pushing him back towards the ropes. When she's always pushing him back towards the ropes, USYK, he's got amazing footwork. We've seen him obviously adapt and come around and get out of there and things like that. But he looked a bit under stress when he wasn't working at his own tempo and pace. And last time we seen Joshua was more on the ropes, USYK held the centre, USYK was working at his own pace and things, so he's comfortable in there. So I hope Joshua really presses him now. He seems on it, and I hope he does it, man. It's good for British boxing, for him to bring these belts back here and bring the big shows back down here.
Shaq, that was a bad boy breakdown, man.
Yeah, man.
That was wicked. Finally, you spoke about ferociousness. EUBANK Jr. versus BENN. One of the most ferocious fights there's going to be. How do you see that one go?
I respect both men as well, man. Both nice guys. BENN is very ferocious. He seems to have a bit more in his step. From like the last 2 years or so, man, I've seen, you know, his whole training regime. I feel like the public obviously at one point was kind of counting him out as well, trying to be like, oh, this BENN is not going to be like a Benn and this and that. But next minute he started knocking everyone out, and he's just ferocious. You know what I mean? I like that about him. I like his attitude and that Eubanks Jr. seems like someone now more like, he has got that ferociousness as well, don't be wrong, but on the Roy Jones style, he's a bit more calmer with his approach, he's a bit more like patient, whereas before he used to kind of, you know, throw like 5 uppercuts in a row, you know, them things there. But like,
can you
if
pick
you're
a winner?
talking about CVs, yeah, I'm going to pick a winner, but if you're talking about CVs, you got to say Eubanks right now has obviously fought, even though he's come up short against a lot of other people, he's fought obviously the more experienced operators. A winner, again, man. It's one of those fights, innit? I mean, if I had a gun to my head or something, I'm going to say probably Eubank Jr., just based on the fact that his CV and, you know, the experience.
Yeah.
But Conor Benn, I'm not surprised if he goes in there and he can, like, with his volume of shots, you know, put him under distress, and probably the decision does go the other way. Because like I said, Conor Benn believes in his work. He's a good fighter. He believes in his work, and he will be getting up about 3-4 o'clock in the morning to be running harder for this guy, because especially from the press conference, you can see that is kind of pissed him off. And I think that, whereas with a lot of other people or the boxers, that would play down against him, I feel with Conor Benn, that will be something where he's probably pinned his picture up on his wall, man, his bedroom window, and his bedroom wall, and he's literally throwing the darts at it, and he's getting off, you know what I mean, to go and do the work. So again, I wouldn't even be surprised if Conor Benn does it, because Conor Benn's a good fighter, and I respect both of them as fighters, man. And it's just, again, it's one of those good domestic dust-ups, which none of them had to do, but because of their family name and history involved in it, it makes sense. And I just hope that the public get behind both of them and don't be talking shit about them, because at the end of the day, both men have put it on the line where they both didn't even have to do that. So good luck to both of them. I hope they have a good fight and both come out safe.
Shaq, let's bring it back to you. September 3rd, Liverpool, M&S Arena. What can we, the fans, expect? The return of Shaq. What can we expect?
It's a good, ferocious performance, man. I'm going to get the victory. And like I said, I'm bringing it, man. I'm bringing the pain, I'm bringing the hurt, and I know what I've got to do in there. Like I said, Dan's a good fighter, but at the end of the day, I know what I've got to do, and I know I'm the better fighter in there. I know in all aspects I'm the better fighter. Whether any kind of plan I will fight, I'm the better fighter in there.
Shaq, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for weighing in.
Thank you, man.